More than 4,000 people have climbed to the top of Mount Everest. More than 600 people have been into outer space. But still today, less than 100 people have ever sailed single-handed, non-stop around the world. Stamina, the ability to sustain prolonged physical and mental effort. My name's Alex Thomson and I'm the skipper of Hugo Boss, a round-the-world race yacht, and my speciality is sailing single-handed. That's one person, non-stop, around the world. The race that I've been trying to win for the last 15 years is a race called the Vendée Globe. The course is easy because you come out of France, you hang a left down the bottom, left at Africa, around Antarctica, left at America, and back to France again. It's about 26,000 miles. It takes 3 months, the record is 74 days, and a true test of not only a person's physical stamina, but more importantly, mental stamina. I am on my own. There is nobody else to be able to do something. There is no support vessels, there are no planes or helicopters that can get to us and help us. So the truth is, you have to do it yourself. It's difficult to define what a typical day is because the day never ends. Sleeping is one of the hardest things on the boat. There is no difference between day and night. I'm trying to sleep equally through the day and through the night, and it's just constant work. At the beginning of the race, you sleep 5, 10, 15 minutes at a time. Maybe halfway through the race, I'm sleeping 20 to 40 minutes at a time. But the longest sleep I had in the whole 74 days of the last race was just 1 hour. Basically, it's just brutal. It's relentless. And really, people think that we're crazy to do this kind of job. But I work with a sports psychologist, and I have to tell him what the challenges are beforehand, and then he works out a technique to be able to deal with it. Whether it be that when I'm in the Southern Ocean and I'm surfing down waves at 40 miles an hour, and when I say waves that are 50 feet tall. We call that the runway. And when you're in the cockpit outside and you're going 40 miles an hour down this runway, it's very exhilarating. It's great fun. But then when you go inside the boat, and you know that the boat is made entirely of carbon fiber, and the thickest part of my boat underneath is just 2.6 millimeters. When you go inside that, it's a bit like going inside a coffin that's hurtling down waves, driven by an autopilot at 40 miles an hour. The defense mechanism of the body comes into play, and your brain's screaming, "You're gonna die, you're gonna die!" And all you can think about is the icebergs, the containers, the whales, the sharks that you could be hitting. So that one, we call it the helicopter views. It's a visualization technique that takes me out of being inside the boat, and I can visualize from up at cloud level. I can look down, I can see, yeah, the boat's going fast, but it's not too fast, the waves aren't too big. I can see there's no containers, I can see there's no icebergs, and that just allows me to reduce the adrenaline going through my body, reduce the heart rate, and get some sleep. I'm an emotional person. If I'm doing well, I'm happy. If I'm doing badly, I'm unhappy. Now the result when I'm unhappy is I work harder. I forego sleep, I don't eat as much because I'm working harder to try and catch more miles. But what's worse for me and my character is when I'm high, when I'm doing really well. The problem for me at this stage is I could be complacent. So to deal with that, my sports psychologist came up with this technique that we recreated that feeling, that aura of invincibility. And then we related it very closely to a near car crash. Now this is all happening in my mind. So it took months to practice it. But what happens now is whenever I have that aura of invincibility, when everything's going just fine, then I get a shot of adrenaline, as you would do if you were very close to crashing your car. So by relating those two together, whenever I have that feeling where I could be complacent, I get a shot of adrenaline. And so it doesn't exist anymore. When you're out there on the ocean, when stuff goes wrong, it's very hard to see the end, the light at the end of the tunnel with some of the things that go wrong. So for instance, when I broke my hydrofoil, I went from thinking I could win the Vendée Globe to maybe not even finishing the Vendée Globe. What my sports psychologist has taught me to do is to be able to break these huge tasks down into smaller tasks. So I went from trying to win the Vendée Globe to then being a podium on the Vendée Globe to then just even finishing the race, but even that felt too big. So he's taught me to carry on reducing my goals all the way down until I got to the point where the lowest goal was to eat a packet of nasty freeze-dried food and then make a sail change. Now, once I completed the task I'd set myself, I felt better. And you feel better as human beings when we set ourselves a goal and we achieve that goal. Again, chemical reactions in the brain make us feel better. And if we feel better, if we're happier, we perform better. My ultimate goal is to win the Vendée Globe in 2020.